What's happening? Yeah, what's happening? What's that? That's it, you got it.
All right, what is up, everybody? My name is Dane Thompson. Welcome back to another episode of What's Happening. This is the weekly BurnDown YouTube series where I fill you guys in here on the blanks on the YouTube BurnDown channel or BurnDown YouTube channel, however you want to say that. Welcome back. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a really cool episode because this is the episode where I get to tell you guys why we've actually kind of had gaps in the channel and why I'm very excited. So, first and foremost, we have had plenty of gaps in the channel. I've been painting stuff. The videos have been lackluster. And that is because I have had zero time, like literally zero time, because I've been spending it all on the Cups for Kids program. So I do a really in-depth Christmas card for a client I've had for like 11 years. He calls, I basically drop everything and I make a Christmas card. And I know that sounds crazy, but I do it. I always take care of the guy. He's a wonderful guy, great family man. And yeah, it's part of my, I call that, it's basically like my Christmas bonus, if you will. And then the other thing that I do, and it all kind of coincided and happened at the same time this year. Usually the card's a little earlier and the cups a little later, but I do Cups for Kids, which I want to mention on here was a huge, huge success. So I'm very excited. I'm still riding a euphoric high from being able to achieve that, and I couldn't do it not one single bit without all of you guys. I know that YouTube is a little behind as far as YouTube translating to Instagram and vice versa, but I feel like I know there's some of you guys on here that cross over. And if you don't know or didn't hear about the Cups for Kids program, it is a program I started about 4 years ago where I'll show you an example. But this is an example. This is actually a customer cup. So I hand paint these. It's candy painted, silver graphic. And I started off doing these basically just so I could buy gifts for my own family. And the first year I went gangbusters nuts. I did like 80 of these things. And I damaged, or had 3 of them show up, damaged in shipping. Let me go set this somewhere so I don't mess it up. All right, so I had 3 of them damaged, and I sold out like that the first year. And people started seeing them, they started wanting them. And I had these messed up ones left, but I didn't feel right about selling them to people. And somebody gave me the great idea. If you're on here, let me know. But they said, why don't you just put your own logo on it, you know, and then sell that, and you could just discount it. At least somebody can get something where everybody was really excited about it. And that was when I got the bright idea that I would take them up on that offer, but I would one-up them and put my logo on it, auction it, and then buy like Toys for Tots, like the $20 gift or $10 gift, and, you know, give it away. Well, everybody went nuts. I raised a bunch of money, and then I panicked. And that year, I tried to be transparent, but it ended up going to one of my son's teachers. So I felt it weird, and I didn't want to claim it because I didn't want her to be like, oh, thank you, because I'm like, I didn't do it. I raised the money. So the first year I wasn't very transparent, but trust me, it went to a good place. I mean, I found a great exit strategy, but I realized the next year that if I kept doing that, people were going to think that I was spending the money. So the next year I'm like, we got to find a charity to hook up with. So I went to my local Lioness Club, and then my son helped me with the gifts, and we gave them to the ladies. And then that's kind of been the tradition. Well, this year, COVID, it's a bunch of like older ladies. Everything's indoors. You can imagine they're obviously keeping track of presents and kind of organized stuff. And with people in that environment and the gifts being exchanged, it didn't really work out. So I started the Cups for Kids program this year. I called the ladies literally when the cups went live so I could get a list of stuff to buy. And I got a rejection saying that they weren't doing it. Meanwhile, you guys are being awesome and buying stuff. So I held my composure together, but I was in panic mode because I'm like, man, these things are going to go, and everybody's being generous, and people are donating money, and here I am getting stacked up with money, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be stuck holding this because I will look like a jerk. But I ended up just teaming up with Cal Fire, the local fire department. They do the Spark of Love toy drive. So it's a bigger toy drive. It's not as localized. Like, I'd like to try to keep the presence local here, but ultimately the goal is to raise money and to get some kids in need some gifts this holiday season. And the cool part is majority of people, when you're giving, I mean, I get it. You know, it's nice of anybody to give a $10, $5, $20 gift. But ultimately, you don't run to Target and buy that $100 Lego set and then give it away. I mean, that's typically not how life works for majority of us, myself included. So the fun thing about this program is I pull the money up that everybody gives me. I paint 3 or 4 cups. I did 3 cups this year. I take donations. We put it all together. And then I took money off of merch as well. And we just go shopping at Target. And I target $50 generally and up. So $50, $100, $150 items. So I don't have a ton of stuff, but it's all solid stuff. And if a kid got it, it's like a $50 Lego set, $100. We did like hoverboards this year and scooters. And so it's cool stuff. And I really feel like that is what makes a difference. I might not reach as many kids, but I like to make an impact. And I think we're just getting started. It was a record high, but I am that guy. I'm that person that I always, once you set that bar, it's like, well, we got to jump over that one. And that's, I think, why I like drag racing and stuff so much, is because as soon as you go this fast, it's like, well, I want to go a little bit faster. So I'm hoping that we can break that record next year. And I almost feel like it's a given. I mean, I guess that sounds terrible, but maybe it's because I'm still riding the high from doing it. But I really think the reach of this channel, social media, I've already had some people that reached out. They're like, hey, I want to help you next year. So I'm going to get my act together a little bit sooner next year, and we're going to streamline that. And then I'm going to go gangbusters, because hopefully I don't have to hold the cash. I'd like to set something up to where you guys can donate. It'll go into like this fund, and then we can just put it straight where it needs to go, or buy all this stuff, and I'll streamline it. So I'm not left holding cash from you guys, because at the end of the day, like $1,000 is cool. We start getting over that and it's uncomfortable, because, I am very responsible with that stuff, and I realize it's not mine. I don't look at it and go, oh, I could buy things with this. I'm like, man, if I don't do the right thing, there's 6,000 people that are going to come get me. So, yeah, anyways, enough about that. I'm very excited, very humbled that you guys just are involved, and you trust me to do the right thing, and it feels great to be able to give back, even if it is that much. Okay, with that being said, that was long-winded. I hope you guys sat through that. I got more special news. So I want to show you guys this, and we'll get into that in a minute. If any of you guys know what this is, leave a comment. I've never eaten one of these, but we'll get into that in a minute. But I want to get on to the meat and potatoes of this episode, really. Besides catching you guys up on the Maliboom, we'll set this here. I want to jump into this. So I want to show you this. I got me a box. It is basically, that's probably not good, so let's do this. All right, I got me a box. It is not fan mail, so I'm going to look this up real quick. I'll cut it in the video, but he told me how to pronounce his name, and then I'm terrible, and I know I keep butchering it because he wouldn't. It's like, he sent me literally like syllables, like you say it like this. So let me look it up. Okay, too much conversation. Anyways, sorry, I'm going to butcher it again. Joey Govey. I always say Govia. Govey. I think it's Govey. Joey Govey, that's what I'm calling you this time around. Sorry, I couldn't find your syllable text. I'm pretty much dyslexic, by the way, anyways. So, Joey Govey reached out to me when I said I wanted to go in-tank pumps with the Maliboom. So I sold the Magnum Fuel 4303. It's loud as all get out. It does support good horsepower, but it's a single pump. And if you guys follow along, you know that my buddy Reed has the Corn Cannon, which is like 4 Marlboro 255s. The thing is just ridiculous. And he has that, and then he's got enough fuel to make some juice. And I looked at that and I was like, first of all, I don't know if my pump would do it, and I know my injectors wouldn't keep up, because I have the old injectors out of his car and mine, and he's got 150s. So I knew the 1,000 cc injectors wouldn't cut it, and then I knew I was going to need more pump if we get the new motor to rock and roll and do what it should. So I started looking for injectors, and it turns out Joey had a set of injectors, so we started going back and forth, and we started talking. I got some 220s from him, which are really cool. I had those flowed by my buddy Cox Racing over here that's kind of local, so I found a guy that's got an injector machine. Everything was cool, and I mentioned I was going to do the in-tank Holley pump setup, because I'm like, you know what, it checks the boxes, it's user-friendly, it's simple, and I can just move on and get on with life. I sold my pump. The assembly is a bit expensive in my mind, but it's a problem-solving deal, and that's why they make money. You know, you can look at it, and I tried to circumvent it and just go, oh, if I could just have this piece or do that, and there's cheaper options. Long story short, Joey's like, hey, I could build that. So let me show you guys what he made for us, and I'll explain it to you guys. And I have no idea, you guys are probably going to bombard him with stuff, but if we could set something up and make these things happen, we will definitely do that in the future. All right, it's like Christmas. Christmas Day, Christmas Day. All right, so here it is. This, at least you didn't wrap it in like dirty old socks. Masking tape too, I love it. And it smells like a machine shop, as it should. So, this was my idea. We went back and forth. I gave him measurements. If anything is wrong or off, it is all my fault because I basically asked him to do this because he said he could, and we worked together on it. So, what I had Joey do was make the only freaking part you really need to put in-tank pumps in a fuel cell. And what part is that? That is the fuel hat portion. Bam. So there we go. Look at that. Awesome. And he sandblasted it. So this is actually aluminum. It's a two-part deal. So I'll have to probably split the ring, and then I'll have to obviously, drill a hole. But this should be big enough. I should be able to punch a 4-inch hole in the regulator. Oh, here we go. In the fuel cell, punch a 4-inch circular hole, and then maybe hog the sides out. And I'll be able to hang two, I'm going to do 2 Hellcat 525 pumps or whatever. I'll put one on a hop switch. So we'll have enough juice to get us to probably six or so, 7 at the wheels or whatever it may be with one. But like 1 pound to boost. Number 2 will turn on, and we should have all the fuel that we're going to need to get us to where we need to go. Which is like, 200 horsepower or so, right? So he made me this part, right? And you're like, well, that doesn't hang pumps. Well, let's find the other part that will. Maybe it's in here. So this really is Christmas, man. Between the Cups for Kids thing and getting some awesome problem-solving one-off deal like this. And again, you can get the same thing from Holly. It just costs you an arm and a leg. And but I luckily have the coolest followers. And the nice thing about sharing with people and showing people stuff is there's a lot of talent out there. You guys watch me do dumb stuff here and there, and I might share some nuggets of wisdom, but ultimately, some of you guys have some real talent, and you might not sit in front of a YouTube camera and blab your fat jaw like me, but check this part out. So, the way it works, look at that. I'm so weak I can't even break masking tape. Woo! And then, and I forgot to tell you, we got 2 of these boys. So, this is a pump hanger. So this is going to fit around the body of the pump. Then you zip tie it, or not zip tie, but you use a stainless clamp to hold the pump in place. And then this is how I'm going to set the depth like that. It goes through this center hole in here, boop, like that. So that's how I set the pump depth, so the pump can be at the bottom of the fuel cell. And you'll notice this one's a single, and I just told you guys I'm doing 2 pumps. So here's one for the 2 pumps, and it should be spaced enough that it'll offset it for the filters and everything, because he essentially already made one. That's why he knew he could do it for me, and then I just kind of gave him the specs and the rundown of what I really wanted to do. So there's 3 holes in it. The middle one is for the all thread, so I get the depth set, and then the other 2 are because I'm just going to run bulkheads, and that's how we're going to get the fuel in and out. I still haven't tackled how we're going to get the wires through, so I'll probably have to drill a hole. I know they have bulkheads and things. I'm going to check my local. I got a place called G&J, and they have everything, and those guys are razor sharp. So I've seen the bulkheads where you pull the wires through. Obviously, I'm going to have to run 2 of them and then put the pumps together. So I haven't quite figured all that portion out, but I know they sell fittings and hoses and all that, and I'll just reach out to G&J, and we'll figure out how to get the wires out of here. The other thing I want to do, too, is I want to make it so you can plug it in and unplug it. I don't want to have to cut it. So if I have to mess with the fuel cell or pull stuff out or pull the hat out, if I replace a pump or whatever, just unplug it, pull them out, life's good, and Bob is your uncle. Also, the reason this other all thread is a friggin' Mandango right here, this bad boy with the single, is because I still have one of the steel tanks for the Winnebago. And it's a big giant square, and I elected to go with the plastic tank, but the routing for it to fill it up, it sucks to try to put fuel in. And I was like, if I'm out on the road and I'm tired and I just want to eat my snack, I don't want to hold or drink my coffee, I don't want to hold that fill neck, like all cockeyed and weird for 30 gallons of fuel or whatever, you know. So the original tank will go back in the original spot, and I didn't want to sump it because I've had so many problems. That's why we're going in tank on the Maliboom. Is in tank on that would be phenomenal, but I didn't have a solution. And as soon as we started making one for the Maliboom, I'm like, bro, we need one for the Twinnebago. I was like, even if it doesn't fly or we don't get that far with it, you know, if you could just do one while you're doing one, let me know. So he was kind enough and hooked me up with a single. So this will be a single pump for the Twinnebago. So when we get that far, I'll get back on there and I'll show you guys exactly what we're going to do. But I got a solution to make the old school tank work with an in-tank pump, and then we're going to utilize Holley's awesome mat that they sell. It's ridiculously expensive for what it is, but I won't need a baffle, and it filters like a monster. So, you know, for a couple $100, we'll drop it in, and then that'll take care of fuel slosh and everything. So problem-solving stuff. Joey Govia is an awesome, awesome individual. So he made all this. I'm going to cover all of it, install all that fun stuff when we get there. And then I got another set. That's what these are. I got actually a couple sets of hats. So, yeah. Thank you very much, dude. This stuff, really, this is like Christmas come early right here. And last but not least, if you're wondering, when I bought the stuff, because I bought the injectors and a few other things off of Joey, I actually got an intake manifold too. He sent this as a challenge. So this is the one chip challenge. This thing's probably gonna make me throw up when I eat a piece of it, but I've been saving it. And if you guys have noticed, people have asked me what happened to the What's Happening videos. It's the holidays. Reed has family up north, and then Jeff has his own family and his own bag of worms to deal with, as do I. So it's hard to get everybody together at the same time, especially when time is of the essence. You got Thanksgiving and then Christmas and families, and then, you know, the whole big C word that everybody's afraid of. And, you know, it is serious, but it is what it is. So it's hard to get together, but when we do, the next challenge, we did the one drag race challenge, so maybe we'll either break this into pieces or we'll figure out somehow, some way, but one of us is going to eat this, or at least pieces of it, on camera, and it's probably going to be terrible. Maybe we'll do a meeting of me and the guys. We can do West Coast Sloppers, and I'll get like my tuner. We'll sit somebody else in on it, and then we can spring it, so at least we have somebody else. It's like, oh, I got to do that, and then the chips will be smaller, so that would be fun. But yes, big shout out. Thank you very much to Joey. Oh. So as far as the Maliboom is concerned, I finally have some free time back. Like I said, all my time went to Cups for Kids, holiday stuff, and then I still have a normal day job like majority of you probably do as well. Well, my free time is finally back. I have a buddy coming over this weekend. Actually, that cup I showed you, that is going to William. He got that for his girlfriend for a Christmas gift. So if you're watching, sorry I ruined your Christmas gift. but hopefully you can see it. Anyways, he's going to pick it up. He's going to come help me this weekend because I need somebody to paint the bumpers. Actually, I need somebody to prep the bumpers because I'm allergic to nickel. So I tricked him into coming over to help me. So he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to be sanding chrome, which I cannot do. So he's actually tremendously helping. And then we're going to let it rip with the paint gun. I'll kind of show him the basics, and then he can kind of get his feet wet painting. Maybe he'll be able to paint his own stuff, or maybe he'll just ruin all my stuff. Who knows? But it'll be a good time. And then you guys can check that out on his channel because he's going to bring his channel over. We're going to collaborate a little bit there. And then my buddy Dave, he's probably not going to be wanting to be anywhere remotely near this camera. So I don't know. He'll just be the ghost guy helping me this weekend. But he is an old schooler. He is phenomenal. He showed me the ropes with custom painting. And that's it. He showed me the ropes on that Cadillac that I did, and then I've just been running with it ever since. And he's always helped me, and he's answered questions, and it was pretty much the same answer as like Willie used to tell me, is you just let it dry and sand it. But he's been phenomenal. He showed me the ropes. He actually showed me how to transfer patterns, all that fun stuff. Well, he is a flame guy. He likes flames, and we're going to lay the flames out by hand, him and I. Mostly probably just me kind of watching him and following his lead, or who knows, you know, maybe he can do a panel and I can do one, but the thing with it, they got to stay symmetrical, so it's just like drawing. So I might even just let him kind of go, and then if we get the flames laid out, then I'll transfer the patterns, and then I'll do all the paint work and all that, because I'll be lucky to get stuff laid out in a day with the amount that we're going to do, and then I'm going to go back and backmask and then paint the car in sections, I think is the plan. So the other exciting news is, of course, we're just going to do it out in the driveway. Why not? Who doesn't spray flake and candy paint and do it in your driveway and flame your whole freaking car out, right? Well, this guy does. So it could go horribly wrong. So if you guys stick around and watch it, who knows? Hopefully we do better than last time. And I know when we're throwing clear down, it ain't blushing on me this time, especially once we do flake and candy and stuff, because, yeah, we're not going down that road. We're going to get it right. We're going to do it all in the driveway. And the other reason, if you're wondering, why is this idiot doing it like that? Why don't you just pull in the garage, Dane? Well, twofold. First and foremost, I have a customer car that sits in here that is very nice, and I can't leave this thing outside willy-nilly. This isn't, I take care of people's stuff. That's why they trust me. And number two, a lot of you guys are the sleeper kind of guys. You like the rough look of the car. You like that it was ugly but fast. And I completely get all that. I left my car like that for a long time just for that reason until the channel kind of started to get a bunch of traction. In my mind, I know there's channels that are giant, but I figure 6,000 people, that's a lot of people to tell something to or show something to. So I could have painted my car when I had 1 subscriber. I could have painted it when I had 100. I could have painted it when I had 1,000. I pretty well avoided it because I knew the car was a turd. I didn't know it was as bad as it is. But now that I got 6,000 of you, I got this much attention, we'll take it from what it is, we'll put the paint on it, we'll go race it, and we'll have fun. So later in the future, when some yin-yang is in the comments and he's like, oh, look at this guy, he bought this car, did whatever. I got 6,000 people here that watch me do it in the dirt, no mercy, and watch me struggle, but we got it done. So like I said, from the stands, this car is going to be awesome, and that is really the goal. Up close and personal, it's not winning any Riddler awards. From the stands, maybe you can still see the dents in the roof, maybe not, but you're definitely going to see the flames that are on top there as well. So looking forward to it. I started taping stuff out a little bit, so hopefully my paint stays on when we pull it all off, but I'm going to paint the rest of the trim black. If you watch the other video, I got a lot of satin black laid down on that. And then this weekend we're going to black bumpers out. Actually, William's going to do that. Now he knows if you watch this. And then Dave and I are going to lay flames out. So that is the plan. I may get to painting some flames, but I have no idea. Maybe at least flaking them. We'll see where life takes us. It's all done outside. I'm at the mercy of the weather. Granted, the only nice thing about living in Southern California is it's going to be 80 degrees this weekend. So I'm going to be out there in shorts and a t-shirt while the rest of you guys watch me struggle. So at least that's fun for me, and I'm getting the weather that I pay for. And since I'm locked down in my house like everybody else in California, might as well make good use of it. On that note, I got things to do. You guys keep it locked. We're filming this weekend. We're coming back with episodes. It's almost Christmas. Where's Toretto? I got to go see Toretto. I'm out.